sitting down with some more awesome people. We've got Brad and Adam,
Yes.
two beautiful faces of the SWUGing community.
Beautiful.
Yeah, we refer to our guests as beautiful.
Okay.
I'm just going to start off by saying you guys look great. You've lost you basically lost the whole person.
Yeah. Yes.
In the last year. Since last year, we sat together and we chatted.
Really good.
Awesome
and
to
it was
see.
completely unplanned either. Like I didn't call him like I'm losing weight. You better lose weight too. It was just I showed up and I'm like, dang.
I made the joke to somebody because you just said Bradham, so I might as well throw it out here too. I made the joke with somebody standing over there a minute ago when they made the same comment. Is that we must have some kind of string linked into the universe because whatever happens to him happens to me and vice versa.
Yeah, we can call ourselves Jobby.
I'm not going to refer to us as, no, that's maybe not. Kirbythan is maybe better.
Joby?
We'll work on that.
Yes.
So the truck that we've been using for our backdrop for guests has been the Altec truck, which is where you guys work.
Yes.
This is one of your guys' truck. Tell us what you guys do at Altec, how you're involved with these wonderful machines.
Yeah, definitely.
Go first.
So yeah, I do the body portion of this truck. So you can take this truck and break it down into its million different components, right? But we have different parts of our organization that can focus on different components, and then we bring them all together into one house of final assembly. My portion of it is the body portion. So all this stuff down here.
So you modeled that in.
Yep.
That's mad.
Every day in, day out, we model the bodies.
Yep.
And yourself, Brad?
I do the structure side of it. So the actual turntable, boom, all that stuff that holds the main unit together is the department I work in. But I do the crane side of it.
You guys don't work in the same office.
Brad is in Roanoke, Virginia, and I'm in Burnsville, North Carolina, which is near Asheville, North Carolina. We've got facilities, over 100 facilities across the world. Most of our manufacturing facilities are probably in the U.S. We've got one in Australia, China.
Yep.
I think you got one in Sydney as well.
Yes.
Melbourne.
Melbourne. Tell us about this truck.
This is a AT48. It's a 48-foot aero unit. It's made to do distribution line work. So you get up and service your power lines, transformers and things around homes, smaller streets and stuff. And we make these up to 125, 150 foot as well.
It's a nice piece of kit.
Yeah, high line ones come from our Duluth, Minnesota organization. They do a lot of our high line stuff, 100, 125, 150. Those are considered our transmission units. So when you see the really high voltage power lines, that's what's going to put them up there. Completely isolate them from the ground so they can grab a hold of that live power line and work on it.
It's crazy. And I was chatting now, is it Brad? All of the insides fully customizable in terms of what you want, cabinets, drawers?
Yes, everything the customer wants they can get. We pride ourselves on being custom made.
So they're almost custom ordered.
Yes.
We do have stock units, stock builds, stock bodies, of course, that we push through our manufacturing facilities and that are always, modified or, used to bring up the latest and greatest. But yeah, like Brad said, everything can be customized, whatever you want. That's what we pride ourselves in, is custom.
Through Altec, you do the user group stuff, but you also have internal user groups at Altec. How many user groups do you guys have within Altec now?
Yep, so we've got, 10, 11 groups now across the U.S. We're trying to bring the Melbourne one on if we can get reached out to them and get them going. They're a little bit of smaller outfit, more newer outfit too. So we're going to bring them on at some point. Yeah, 10 or 11 across Altec.
That's really good. It's good to see.
Yeah,
company user groups is a thing that is helping growth, and it tailors it to what you're using the software for and how you want your internal users to be using it.
Yep. It allows us to talk about the intellectual property that we have, the add-ons that we use that are custom made for us or by another supplier. It allows us to, specifically train our users around those things.
And that's why we did it. So 4 years ago, probably right before COVID, the users at the Burnsville, North Carolina location, they were attending the Western North Carolina Asheville SOLIDWORKS user group, which is down the road. And so they would always go to that and come back, and they'd enjoy it. They'd get a lot out of it. But every now and again, they come back and say, you know what, that was a great presentation, but it applied to nothing of what I do.
Yeah.
And I really didn't care to see it, right? And so sometimes that would discourage people from going when they would see a presentation that didn't apply to them. So I come back and I talk to one of the upper management, and it's like, why do we not consider bringing this in-house? Because then we can make everything applicable to what we're doing, and even talk proprietary stuff, like Brad was saying, and not have to worry about anything else.
That makes
Yeah.
total sense.
It's useful for new starters and that, help them get acclimated to your processes and your systems, and also you're doing tips and tricks for SolidWorks, but you're also probably doing tips and tricks for other like components of the job. So
Internal software. You want to talk about the internal software?
So we have developed an internal API add-in for SolidWorks called ACE. We don't know why it's called ACE. It's just called ACE. It automates a lot of things for us.
have you asked the guy who made it?
Yes, he doesn't. He doesn't know. He said it will pull with the ACE up your sleeve, and he introduced it as like cards kind of thing. But it allows us to automate certain things. So if we create a bent piece of sheet metal for our process, we can flatten it, put it on a DXF sheet, and convert it to DXF and a PDF, and dump it back into our PLM automatically with a push of a button.
And it's bomb too.
And the bill of material that goes with it into our PDM system.
As
Very
a press,
impressive.
I know at our facility we've
Well
developed.
thought out.
At our facility, we've developed our own software as well to be able to manage customers' orders and all that stuff. So it's nice when your company invests in that
I'll give you an example. And,
kind of thing.
Maybe,
And if there's a problem, it can be fixed.
yeah, for sure. Another example, and Brad may be able to remember the numbers. I've got a guy here who could definitely tell us the numbers because he's the one who did the presentation on it. He was out of our Creedmoor facility, right? Every year we get the SWUG leaders within Altec together to have an in-person meeting. So we do once a quarter virtual meetings to kind of say, hey, this is what's coming around, this is what you got to look forward to, how are things going. And then once a year we get together and kind of fine-tune all that crap we did throughout the year, right? And paint it together. Well, last year when we did that, one of the guys did a presentation on ACE, right? He did an implementation of how people are who's using ACE, and he grabbed the data, the numbers of who was using ACE, and where we were falling short in efficiency because of that, not being used. And so he did that as a SWUG meeting and presented that and challenged everybody in that meeting to use ACE more, and we'll find out the efficiency after a year. We'll come back and we'll relook at that. He did that. People complied with his plead, and when he came back a year later, it was such a massive amount of time savings when he re-pulled that data to find out people were using the tools and software that we created within SolidWorks to make their job easier.
And it's important. It's all about efficiency. I mean, you said like some tips and tricks. You go to a session and maybe some of it doesn't apply to you, but you're able to take that back.
Yeah, because for some people, they're just after. We did it, speaking of it, because we were talking about it earlier, we did a disc training. It's, a disc survey or assessment is what it's called, disc assessment.
Yeah, we do it at work.
Yeah, and it's really cool because it shows where you fill in, and if you're a certain type of person, you may not want to go to me. You may be a D personality where you just want the information that you need and nothing else. And if that's your type of personality, that's okay. You can be that way. I mean, there's other people who like the regular community SWUGs, like Brad, myself, you guys, that just want to absorb anything and everything they can.
I think the disc thing is really useful as well because it tells you how to communicate and how to get the best out of the other person.
Yeah.
So it'll tell you, like, if you're an I, to communicate with a D or a C, you have to do this. And it's really useful.
I'm way off the charts I.
Yeah, I'm bang middle I.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, right?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
So you obviously you help. You guys are the committee leads for your regions for SWUG, and you help manage your Altec groups, but also all the other groups, and you do a lot of meetings around there, and that helped you develop your IronSWUG. So you want to just explain IronSWUG?
So IronSWUG is a SolidWorks user group tour done via motorcycle. So we go city to city, giving technical SolidWorks presentations, and we do it solely on motorcycles. So it's kind of a challenge on the mind, on the body, but also it motivates users to come see us because they're like, look at these two guys driving through rain, through crazy weather to talk about the software that I use. And we do about 3,000 miles in a week and do 5 to 6 different meetings.
You doing it this year again?
Yes.
What's the planned route for this year?
West Coast.
The West Coast.
We're going to be West Coast this year. We don't have final stops solidified just yet. We're almost there. But yeah, it's going to be West Coast this year.
And they're going to be hybrid?
Yes.
We'll be hybrid again. IronSWUG.com, right, Brent?
Yep, IronSWUG.com. And then we're going to pair it with the new Bevy platform and get everybody in that as well.
West Coast is good for us because it's further back in time, so we'll be pushing out our work hours as well. So
Yeah, we'll be 4 hours later.
Yeah, that'll push it into like the UK European evening times. So that'll help us out massively because I struggle at work depending on what's going on.
IronSWUG's idea was born within the community at a SWUGing summit here at World in Nashville.
Yeah.
And so it's just awesome that when that idea was created, that the community got behind it. It's it's just Brad and I. It's nothing, right? We're just going to stops. If we show up and nobody's there, then there's nothing to do.
Yeah, you're doing what you love.
Yeah, the community got behind it. The community showed up when we showed up, right? So it's applause to them. SOLIDWORKS, Dassault Systems, they showed up and helped support us to do it. HP, they showed up, helped support us to do it, right? So it's not just us. There's so many people in this mix. It's you guys advertising, telling the people about it right now, right? It's so much bigger than just us.
They believe in it. They're they see the value.
They value it.
Yeah. And your whole thing inspires me to think like, how can we do something like that in the UK?
Yeah.
In Europe. I mean,
we need it.
Weather's not as nice. And we put together the IronSWUG. But we use trains instead.
We use trains. We need to keep pushing user groups in the UK and Europe and over that way.
Yeah, because
we got some growing to do.
I wonder, something would be really cool, and I know we've talked about this on your podcast in the past at other worlds, but it'd be really cool to have a collaboration of IronSWUG and EuroSWUG.
Oh, definitely.
And just crash them together and just burn up Europe or something, it'd be so awesome.
And this is what I like, and you expressed how like IronSWUG came together because of World. EuroSWUG came together and started jotting down the ideas here, having these conversations with other leaders. We all discussing and thinking, how can we do it better? How can we make it bigger? What can we do next? And we throwing ideas around, and everybody's trying to, like I said, support and help out. And I want to try and bring the kind of energy, the hype, the intensity of user groups that you get in the US to Europe.
Yeah, because we come to World every year and we get energized, we get recharged by being here at World amongst all of each other, and we want that throughout the year, and we want other people to have that too.
It's a weird feeling. You come to this event, it's exhausting, it's tiring.
Yes.
But you're walking away energized.
Yep.
Very much so.
You're physically tired but mentally recharged.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll go back to my office on Friday, and based on what I've seen and stuff, I'm making a presentation for my next user group meeting, what we missed at World, talk about user groups in general. Yeah. And I've got some new people in my area that are interested in joining or creating user groups, or they're starting one, and I get to help them kick theirs up into high gear and to do it.
I bet Kirby and Jonny would have some good content you could probably throw up during your presentation.
Maybe.
Yeah. All the stuff will be uploaded to YouTube. The live streams and that we've done in the morning. So we're going to be just throwing stuff up, weekly after this.
Yeah.
Are you going to have a hodgepodge of all of it kind of together at some point at the end?
Yeah. Like we're doing the live streams in the morning. We've walked around the playground, showing off what you can see. We did a bit of filming at CAD Monkey, interviewing some people.
That was fun, though.
And then we're doing these interviews.
Yeah, so we will have some good stuff.
Awesome.
And obviously we're doing our challenges to try and encourage the community to
get involved with them.
Get involved.
Yeah, your maze, that was pretty fun.
That was.
The maze got really good feedback. And yesterday the Measure Mania thing we did.
Yeah.
It was one point there was 3-4 people stood waiting for the...
Yeah, there was a queue.
There was a queue for it.
So now get 2.
Well, that's what, we said in hindsight now. We've got 2 laptops with us that are both loaded.
Yeah, we just got.
You just need
there's
another
one model.
caliper and another model, so you can then set up 2 little stations.
Yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So that was fun. A lot of people said it's a great warm up for Model Mania.
Yeah.
And because it wasn't as like strict as Model Mania, we were watching over the shoulder and like helping and talking and chatting through it. And I found it interesting to watch everybody's workflows and see how people are going to attack this model. And I learned a few things just watching people. Like I didn't realize, with a slot, I always measured off that center line. I didn't realize you can go tip to tip.
Yeah.
Shift key.
Blew my mind. I was like, I put this slot in here so it can be quite tricky. And Yaya was like, no, boop, boop, done. I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I want to see how we can grow from that.
Yeah.
The whole idea of the how low can you go is, we're part of the community that always loved collecting the badges.
Yeah.
And
The cool thing about the badges is it shows your interest, it shows your desire, it shows where you're plugged in, what you're doing, and who you. Not the fact that who you know for who you know, but that if something's going awry, I can holler at Brad and say, "Hey, can you help this guy? Because I can't figure it out. Because I know he might know the answer."
Yeah. The way Yaya explained it, which is perfect, is every single tag that he has either has a story or it's an achievement.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a reason behind them.
that.
Yeah.
And he said like the eyes up here one is probably the best one because it's an icebreaker.
Yeah.
Someone's like, oh, what's that?
Because people scan down your badge and then they hit the bottom one and it's eyes up here. And it makes them laugh.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I like it.
And there's a story behind each one.
It's also an encounter with somebody. You're meeting somebody. You're face-to-face networking with somebody.
Yeah.
So.
And then, I'm sure you've seen Jose's badge. He's just littered it with pins.
Yeah.
You've got your Tamagotchi on there.
Yeah, I love that. That was great chatting about that this morning.
So it's people are also like customizing it and that. Like I've got a little feather that I made at the makerspace, the maker zone.
Yeah.
So it's
been really good.
It adds personality.
I may use that as an example. I know one of my presentations at the beginning of my tips and tricks presentation, I talk about customization.
Yeah.
And the first thing I do is I ask the audience, when that customization window comes up, I ask the audience, who's got a cell phone in their pocket or in their hand? Pretty much everybody raises.
Yeah.
Who in the audience, raise your hand again, if you in the audience still have your phone set the same way it was when you bought it.
Yeah, exactly that.
No, okay, well, why do SOLIDWORKS the same way? You're probably on SOLIDWORKS just as much, if not more, than you are on your cell phone.
Yeah. Funny enough, I was thinking about this the other day, that like when I was younger, got my first phone and that's like I knew where every single setting, where every single customizable thing was. I knew everything about that phone. And now I barely even touch the settings. I've no clue. There's just so much settings. It's just I just leave it as is.
That's why presentations like that are good, because you get very good, clear information. If this setting does this, go and try it.
Yeah, and with SOLIDWORKS, there's so many different things deep in it that you don't know about. If you're the average user, you might not know about what happens if I enable this function or turn off this function. What will it do to my workflow? What will it do to my computer? We've got people that go in there and click buttons and, oh crap, that crashed it. I learned something today.
Yeah.
Let's undo that.
Yeah, I know we at work went through an exercise to basically take everyone's machines and optimize them hardware-wise, settings-wise for graphic performance, and we saw a massive impact in that, and that came out of a user group meeting.
Yeah, I had a lady in that same session yesterday, gave one of the tips or tricks, and she asked me, because I try and give a year when that came out if it's something that just is more recent, right? And she asked me when that one came out, and I was like, honestly, I can't tell you. It's been out for quite a while. And she almost felt maybe a little set back, like I should have known that, or I should have already seen that. And to help her feel better, I was like, don't worry, I've been in the same boat. I've used SOLIDWORKS for 8 years before I realized you could do X, Y, and Z, right?
Yeah.
And so it's what Brad just said.
I'd been using SolidWorks for 10 years before I found out about the S key.
I told him about that.
Really?
But it took me like 2 years to actually adopt it.
He's only now started using it.
Yeah, it took me like 2-3 years to actually adopt it.
Yeah.
Because I was so set in my ways. It was out of my workflow. What happened was I installed a new version of SolidWorks on my computer, and the search bar wasn't there. And I was like, wait.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, the S key. Maybe it's search, and then it popped up, and I was like, oh yeah, this thing exists. And it came with the text bracket, so I can press S, type in what I need.
Do you use mouse gestures?
No.
Okay. I put my S key on the mouse gesture, so I don't even have to touch the keyboard.
No, that's clever, that's clever.
Right click, drag to the left, and S key's there.
So like, I've now got both Jonny and I, we got the 3D Connection keyboard and Space Mouse. I've got the big one, not the Enterprise.
The Pro?
The Pro.
The Pro.
And that's got loads of little shortcuts, and I'm excited to, but also nervous about it because, like I said, I'm so used to in my ways that adding that to my workflow to start off with is going to slow me down, but hopefully it'll speed me up.
So I've got a really, really interesting story around that. I started off with what was once called the Space Navigator. This was 2006, 2007. It was a ball with a little armrest. You moved it, and it was terrible. I didn't use it. I hated it. I put it in a desk drawer. Never thought about it.
Yeah.
I come back to a different company, and they had the CAD mouse, the regular small one with the two buttons on the side.
Yeah.
At Altec was the first time I'd actually seen one that was small and easy to use, and implemented it. I intentionally tried to slow myself down for, 30 days to use it, and I realized, oh my Lord, I'm missing out on so much stuff here.
Yeah.
And started getting faster and faster as I used it and got more efficient with it. And I graduated to the Pro with the extra buttons, and then 3D Connection being amazing. They're like, try this one, test it. And they said, we want you to try to break it. And they sent me an Enterprise to try to break.
Yeah, I've got an Enterprise at work, and I set it up. I put it aside because I haven't really touched it much. And one thing I really like about it is that when you are switching to a different window, it automatically changes the settings. So when you're jumping between different softwares, everything changes. You don't have to press a button to change the mode.
That's great.
I think all their devices do that.
Yes.
It's just more visible because the screen shows it.
Yeah.
And it's great. I mostly use a software called Materialize Magics for my file fixing and build making for work. And there, I use shortcuts on that all the time. I'm all over the keyboard doing things, and I'm trying to migrate that into the Enterprise so that my hand can just sit there and I can just do everything like that.
Ergonomics is good for your hands, man.
They are amazing. They've sponsored
helped us out a lot.
Our podcast this year.
And helped me with CAD Monkey and Dan.
Yeah, giving us
some giveaways.
And that's the thing.
Goodies to give away.
Sponsors. We can't say enough about all these sponsors that help out the SWUG community. I mean, we've got Dell, HP, 3D Connection, DriveWorks, and forgive me if I don't say any of the ones that are out there because there's so many of them that believe in what we're doing. Back to what you said, Kirby. They believe in what we're doing. Yeah,
they see the value, and they understand that they're helping out and they're a part of the community. Like Heather, you got to kind of remind yourself. Heather works for DriveWorks. She's not a user group leader or a champion. She works for DriveWorks, but she's treated like someone in the community. She is part of the community.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why is because of her outlook on the sponsorship. Right? There's been some sponsors that have came through the SWUG community that are like, okay, we're giving you money. Now make sure we're getting sales back, right? And Heather will tell you straight up, that is not the outlook you got to have for this. No, you're sponsoring the community because you're giving back to the community.
Yeah.
If they come and bring you business, that's great, but that's not the primary outlook. The outlook is the community, is the people.
Yeah.
I think this is a beautiful spot to wrap this up.
Yeah.
It's been a fantastic conversation. My neck is sore from last night.
Sorry.
You and me with the karaoke. It was amazing.
You both did really well, by the way.
Okay.
You came out great.
Your headbanging was great.
on the note of wrapping up, I want to thank you guys for hosting the Core podcast.
Well, thank you.
It's always good to see people do this and to keep it a about the users and about the software and you know, having fun with it.
Yeah.
And keeping people tuned in even though they're not here is great too.
Yeah, we've always said it's like most of the people that do watch us are here already. But you know, hopefully you guys are going to be sitting in the office and then an interview pops up and you watch it. You know, feed those world blues.
Well, and it's a different perspective too, because we could have been in a completely different area than you guys.
You might have missed something that we've talked about, and you'd be like, "Oh, I'm going to try and dig into that more," or we'll see who else we've chatted to over the week.
As somebody who watches a lot of YouTube, I appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you.
Thank you. So my words just disappeared there.
Your brain's just melted.
My brain melted. Thank you very much for watching this awesome interview with Brad and Adam. I'll put all the information about IronSWUG down in the description.
Yep.
You can check that out. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Thanks.
Thank you.